Morning, everybody. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
We're excited to see you all. And have a lovely class planned for you. It's a beautiful day, so we'll give you a beautiful class, and then you can have some breakfast and go for a walk outside. So what you'll need for today in class, if you have it, is some kind of strap. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt, you can use a towel, you can use a rope, you can use a really long piece of string. You could, I don't know, anything that's available. But if you don't have it, make something up for these first few minutes. So what we're gonna do is just loosen up the shoulders a little bit. You can take your strap or whatever it is and place it in front of you and just shrug your shoulders up and then roll them back and take them down. And then shrug them up and hold them into your ears and then back and down. And shrug up and back and down. And shrug up and back and down. Reverse direction, go back and up and down. And back and up and down. One more, back.
Is that back up, forward,
up, forward and then down. Good. Once you've done all that, just take your hands, interlace them behind your neck, stretch your elbows up to the ceiling, give yourself like a good morning yawn stretch, pull the elbows in close together, inhale to the highest point, and then as you exhale, take your body to neutral and pick up that strap. And what we're going to do with the strap is I'm going to move forward on my mat a little bit, and Brandon's going to move backwards on his mat a little bit so that we're staggered, and open the strap up almost to straight arms, just so you can test it. And then inhale, take it up and over, and see if you can slide it gently all the way back and down behind you. And then if that was super easy, walk in a smidge on the strap. You do want to keep your arms straight. So if you lean forward, you should be able to access it and then take it down in front. Now it's still a little easy for me, so I'm going to move in again. And then you power lift those arms up towards the sky. Move your chest between your arms. And now I'm starting to feel it. And it's actually best when it's over shoulder height. Right? You can take it down lower, but if you keep it just about ear height behind you and you push the strap apart, you're going to get the best stretch sensation. Let's take it back up and over and down in front. If you can and you're not straining, move in. Inhale, take it up. Now here's the secret. Push the strap apart with your hands, and then you're going to place your chest in between your arms by sliding forward. Whew, that's so good. So hopefully this is the best spot yet. And then reach your arms back behind you and turn to the right a tiny bit. And push forward with your left arm. If you're not using the strap, you could just be doing an easy seated twist here. Now we're going to inhale back to the center. And exhale, twist a little bit to the left. Inhale, take it back to center. Pick up the strap high towards the sky, and then bring it all the way down in front of you. Move in a little bit more on the strap. This time when you pick it up, you're going to make a goalpost position with your arms. And the same is true for goalposts. To get the strap behind your head, what you want to do is relocate your rib cage forward and shift your hands backwards. Hold it right there. Now that you've got it, imagine that you were going to straighten out your arms, but don't quite. So you start to straighten out the bend of your elbows, turn your head a little bit to the right, and then with your left arm, give a slight push. Inhale back to center, look to the left, and with your right arm, just give a slight push. Take it back to the center. Good job, everybody. Inhale, strap comes up and over. Exhale it down. You're doing really well. Let's do one more. Inhale, take it up to the top. Let your right hand drop lower. Your left arm is going to reach up to the ceiling like you're in a cheerleading squad. And you got your palm up. Yes! Your arm is slightly behind your head. Push your chest forward, your heart forward, and the strap backwards. Then with your right arm, pull down ever so slightly. Let's take that arm all the way to the floor by bending your elbows, sliding your right hand out in front of you, and then rolling your left shoulder back and pushing into the strap with your left arm. The arms don't have to be straight here, but they could be straightish. And then you can use your right hand just to give a little bit of a pull to the strap.
My belt's not long enough, so I'm not.
Yeah, so you can totally go with bent or, yeah, beautiful. Inhale, take it up in the center. And then take your right arm up to the sky and your left arm down a little bit. And you're going to use your left arm to carry your right arm back and around behind your head. And then go ahead and take your left hand all the way down to the floor. Slide it forward and move the strap behind your head. And you'll hold there, roll that right shoulder back so that the heart is open, the front of the shoulder is open, and then with your left hand, you just give a little maneuverability. Excellent. Bend both arms, take the strap back to center, and we're going to leave it for now, but it will come back into play later, just in case. Go ahead and change the cross-legged position that you have. And let's take our first round of Bastrika by bringing your hands up at small fists onto your coffee mug, up by your shoulders, and then inhale, reach your arms up overhead, and exhale, pull down. Yes. Repeat. Place your thumbs on the inside of your hand and then roll your fingers around your thumb and touch your knuckles together. Inhale to hold the breath. Bring the chin lightly down, take the navel and hug it back towards the spine and feel a tightening of your pelvic floor. Take a second sip in. Take a third sip in. Okay, release. Take your hands to your shins or onto the ground. Inhale. Exhale, breathe all the way out. Hold the breath out. Sit upright. Keep the breath out. And try to open your rib cage without inhaling. I'm going to use my fingers to show you what's happening. Release, inhale. And exhale your hands back up to your shoulders. Whew. Round two. Inhale up. And rest. Place the thumbs in. Roll the fingers. Touch your knuckles together. Inhale. Bring the chin lightly to the chest. The navel back to the spine. Pelvic floor is rising. Take a second sip in. Take a third sip. But try to relax your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, and just contain the air. Release, exhale. Hands to the shins or onto the ground. Inhale. Exhale, blow it all the way out. Hold the breath out. Hollow the belly towards the spine. Breathe out a little bit more. Hold it out. And then you're going to hollow your belly and expand your ribs. Release, inhale. And exhale. One more time. Take your hands up by your shoulders and begin. touch your knuckles together. Inhale big. Bring your chin lightly towards your chest. Take a second sip in. Shoulders are low, heart is high. Take a third sip in. And release, exhale. Hands to the ankles or onto the floor. Inhale. Exhale, push all the way out. Keep the breath out. This time, if you're putting your fingers under your rib cage, you can try just very lightly to push back towards the spine and then sneak out a little bit to the sides. Release, inhale. And exhale, come onto your hands and knees and push back into child's pose. Child's pose is here for you anytime you need it today in class. But let's get this game started. Come all the way up onto your hands and knees for a little bit of cat-cow. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, press round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. And exhale, round. And we're going to do a little bit of barrel rolls today as well. So I want you to shift your ribs to the right, to the ceiling, to the left, and then down. To the right, to the ceiling, to the left, and then down. To the right, to the ceiling, to the left, and then down. Reverse. To the left, to the ceiling, to the right, and then down. To the left, to the ceiling, to the right, and then down. One more. Left, ceiling, right, and down. Cat-cow. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, push round. Inhale, look forward. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, push back downward, facing. In downward facing dog, feel free to pedal one heel and then the other down to the floor just to warm up your feet a little bit. And then separate your feet to the edges of the mat. Walk your hands back about 15 to 20 inches. Bend your knees so this is an easy position for you to hold. You're going to take your right hand to your left foot. Turn your toes in a little bit and your heels out and look underneath your left arm. If there's too much weight into your left wrist, just move your weight backwards so there isn't weight in your left wrist, right? It's totally up to you how comfortable you are in the position you take mentally, in the position you take physically. Rotate just a little bit more. Pull that left hip backwards and then shift both hips to the right side of the mat. Release your hands to center. Inhale in the middle and then exhale. Cut across with that left hand. Hold the outside of the right leg. Look underneath your right arm at the Easter Bunny. And then pull both of your hips to the left. So you're just going to shift all your weight to the left side of the mat. Really rotate that heart. And then take both hands down to the floor. Walk back forward into downward facing dog. Vinyasa. Inhale, pull forward, push up position. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, forward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. And we're still just warming up, so go ahead and walk your feet to the front of the mat, hip distance apart. Inhale, long flat back. And then exhale, fold it down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees, roll your body up to standing. Reach the arms to the sky. Inhale, high. And exhale, heart center. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, dive your body down. Inhale, lengthen out. Step your right leg back and put your right knee gently down on the floor. Inhale, both arms come up to the sky. Hook your thumbs together and press your palms up. I like to pull my belly button in a little bit so the low back is supported. Take both hands down to the ground and step back and lower, low push-up. Inhale, forward. Exhale, downward. In downward facing dog, inhale your right leg back. And then step it forward and place your back knee on the floor. Inhale, both arms come up. Hook those thumbs together. Give yourself a power press with an abdominal hug. And then take both hands down and step to the front of the mat. Inhale, long, flat back. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, all the way to the sky. Let's go right back down. Inhale, lengthen. This time, left leg back, left knee down. Inhale, arms up. Hook your thumbs. Change the cross of your thumbs. And ecstatically reach. Take both hands down. Let's do it. Low push-up. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg goes back. Step it forward. Place the back knee down. Inhale. Both arms come up. Thumbs up. Change the cross. Reach. And then take both hands down and step to the front of the mat. Inhale. Lengthen out. Exhale. Fold down. Inhale. Arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale. Heart center. Now let's mix it up and get a little bit more heat in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, lengthen out. Right leg steps back. Right knee touches down. Inhale, both arms reach up to the sky. This time, don't even connect your hands. Just elevate, but rotate your pinkies towards each other. Pull the navel in. Push into your front foot for stability. And then as you release, cross your left foot in front of your right foot. Twisted downward dog. In twisted downward dog, you just sink down through that right heel. Bending your knees a little bit so you feel it. And then inhale forward to push-up position. And either with your knees on or off the floor, give me 3 push-ups. 1, 2, 3. On the third one, push back, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches back. Step your right leg forward and come to a high lunge. The left foot moves a little to the left. Both arms inhale up to the sky. And then as you exhale, let's round the body down and look at your back foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And come down. Good. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. 2 more. Up. And down. Last one. Up. Okay, take your hands down and step to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, skyward. Go all the way back down. Inhale, lengthen out. Left leg steps back. Left knee comes down. Inhale, arms rise up. No connection of the hands, but scoop the air. And then elevate your arms. Take both hands down. And when you step back, cross your right foot in front of your left foot. Find downward dog. Sink your left heel into the ground. Maybe there's a little bend to the knees to help you feel it. And then inhale forward to your prepped push-up position. Get ready to rock and do 3 push-ups. 1, 2, 3. Press it back, downward dog. Inhale your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward. Move your right leg a little to the right. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, round down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Good. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last one, up. Okay, hands come down. And step to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms all the way to the sky. Take it up. And exhale, heart center. Yes! Let's try again. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, lengthen out. Right leg steps back. Right knee touches down. Listen carefully. We're going to inhale the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, take them behind you and put them on your glutes. Push your glutes down into your pants. Tuck your back toes under, and just a little bit, roll the chest open. If you'd like to take your right hand to your right thigh, you can. We're gonna come back to this a little bit later. If you'd like to take your right hand to your right ankle, you can. Then take everything down to the floor, and cross your left foot in front of your right foot. And we're gonna do alligator push-ups. So if you inhale forward, keep your toes tucked under, lay all the way down on your belly, like you're a sleeping alligator by the riverside. Widen your arms to the side of the mat, alligator style. And then you're gonna imagine somebody grabbed your waistband and pulled you up. Wide push-up. And then all the way to your belly. The way to cheat it is to lift your head first and then push and lift. That will make it easier in the beginning. Or come right down and push right back up. Let's try one more. Ready? Push up. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Push back, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg back in space. Exhale, step it forward. Move your left foot a little to the left. Both arms come up. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, interlace your hands and push your arms all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to put a little bend in the back knee so that your pelvis comes under your body, and then pulse your breath 30 times here. Inhale at the top. Exhale, both hands come down and we step to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold down. Come all the way up to standing. And then right back down. Inhale, lengthen. Left leg steps back. Left knee comes down. Inhale, arms rise. As your hands come down, take them behind you to your bootay. And I want you to push those glutes down into your pants a little bit. Squeeze your elbows together and begin to arc your chest open. If you feel good putting your left hand on your hamstring, you can. Or you can push on your right foot and you might take your left hand towards your ankle, which is big, especially at the beginning of class. But we'll come back to it later. Come back forward and step your right foot back so that it crosses in front of your left foot. Inhale forward, push-up position. Alligator push-ups. Lower all the way down onto your belly, like you're down by the riverside. And then you're going to get a little disturbed, and so you lift up, alligator. And then you come back down. And then you lift up. And you come back down. Let's do two more. Come on down. Last one. Move your hands underneath your body. Push back, down dog. Left leg inhales back. Step it forward and move your right foot a little to the right. Inhale. Both of your arms come up to the sky. Interlace. Change the interlock of your fingers and press those palms high. It should feel good. It's like, oh yes. And we pulse the breath here. Inhale, top. Exhale, lower down. And step to the front of the mat. Inhale, everything lengthens out. Exhale, everything folds down. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Reach it high. Exhale to your heart center. Next segment. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, take them all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen out. And then walk, step, or hop to low push-up. Inhale, forward facing dog. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. From down dog, what I'd like you to do is inhale forward to push-up position. Exhale, come all the way down onto your belly and prop yourself up on your elbows. Use your elbows to pull your chest forward a little bit. So we're in cobra pose. And each time we do this cycle, we're going to build a little bit. So cobra is level 1. And the stretch that I'd like you to do for your chest is pec major. Reach your right hand out to the right, slide it out to the right, and then look to the left. Now your right hand, it's just a little bit over shoulder height. And you really walk it away. And then you really walk it away. I'm even using my other hand, like really get it away from you. So your whole body's coming off the right side of the mat. Now look to the left. Turn your right thumb a little to the ceiling. Turn your hips to the left. And the hardest part is actually to pick up your hips and move them to the left. So you could do it two ways. You could either put your left foot on the floor and sneak over there, or you could bend both arms, lift up, move your hips a little bit, and then come back down. Because I want the hips over on the left side of your mat. Turn your left knee up to the ceiling. Use the fingertips of your left hand to push hard into the floor and to lift your head up. Right, but don't lean onto your right arm. Pull away from your right arm. Some of you undoubtedly will be able to turn both knees towards the ceiling. Just a little. With your left foot, can you reach it longer so your left leg eventually straightens out? Okay, we're dropping to center. It started so innocent with Cobra, and then we had to open our arm up. Let's do it on the other side. Take your left arm off to the left, and then more 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 to the left. And so far that your body goes off a little bit, and turn your left thumb slightly up. Now, look to the right, turn your hips to the right, put your right foot flat on the floor, and if there's some way you can pick up your hips and move them to the right side of the mat, do it. Otherwise, you can bend both arms, pick up your hips and sneak them over. And then push into the fingertips of your right hand and turn your right knee towards the ceiling. Easy does it. Maybe your left knee also turns up. And then for some of you, your right leg will straighten. So you're reaching with that right foot to the back of the mat. Yep. Let's come to center. Good job. Come all the way to center. Put your hands down underneath your chest. Inhale to forward facing dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, go ahead and bend your knees and walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, long, flat back. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, go right back down. Inhale, lengthen out. Go ahead, walk, step, but if you hop, only to your low push-up. Don't hop to high plank, it will hurt your back. Hop to low plank. Inhale, forward facing dog. Exhale, down facing dog. In down dog, inhale forward again. Lower all the way onto the belly. And this time, float your arms off to the side. What we're going to do, because Brandon and I are close, is I'm going to do the arms a little higher and he's going to do them a little lower. But you inhale your hands forward and then you exhale them backwards. Inhale forward, exhale backwards. Inhale forward, exhale backward. Inhale forward, exhale backwards. When you take them forward, imagine that you had a coffee mug on each wrist and you were going to lift it up to the ceiling. For 10, 9, 8, just the hands, 7, not your rib cage. 5, 4, ooh, it's so hard, 3, 2, on 1. Bring your hands to the side, put your fingertips on the floor, elbows reach up. That's to give you a little bit of a break and to relax the muscles of your spine. But then go the other way and take your elbows down and your hands up. And what you'll do is clap your shoulder blades together for 10, 9, the spine is stationary. 8, the arms are moving. 7, although you can lift it a little higher. 6, if you'd like, and just hold it there. For 4, whoop, 3, 2, on 1, interlace your hands behind your hips. Change the interlace of your fingers and roll your chest open. Take both of your hands to the right outer hip. And then take both of your hands to the left outer hip. Bring it back to center. Put your hands down. Wiggle your asana. Wiggle your asana. And the second chest opener that we'll do is for pec minor. Take your right arm into that goalpost position that we did with the strap at the beginning of the class. I'm just going to use my opposite arm to push my shoulder away a little bit. Nice. And this is a harder pose, so you're going to be more gentle. Turn your head to the left, turn your chest to the left, and then start to bend your knees so that your knees are pointing to the left side of the mat. See if you can pick up your hips and your ribs and move them to the left side of the mat. Turn your right thumb slightly to the ceiling and then lift your head up off the floor. Using the tented fingers of your left hand, elevate your upper body. And trust me on this, if you turn your left knee to the ceiling, it's going to be more than enough. Even the thought of turning your left knee to the ceiling is pretty much okay. Some of you will probably turn both up. And if you do, think about that left leg straightening out and reaching away from you as you push the fingertips of your left hand firmly into the floor. You ready, Brandon?
Yeah.
All right, come to center. In the center, let's take the second side. So your left arm comes out to the side. You can use your right hand just to move it a little bit. Make sure your elbow is slightly above shoulder height. Turn your head to the right, and then bend your knees. Pick up your hips and move your hips to the right side of the mat a little bit. Also your rib cage, and then maybe your hips again, and also your rib cage. Good. And then lift your head up and turn the thumb of your left hand towards the ceiling. We're also going to turn the right knee up to this just a little. Just I can hear you through the viral web going, oh. So maybe both knees, maybe. And if you've got it, then take that right leg and straighten it out and reach your right foot as far away from you as you possibly can while pressing into the fingertips of your right hand. Yep. All right, let's come to center. Whew. Take the hands down to the floor, push into the ground, come to a lazy forward-facing dog, and then press it back to downward-facing dog. In down dog, bend your knees, walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, long, flat back. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, go all the way down. Inhale, lengthen out. You decide. Walk, step, hop. Inhale, forward-facing dog. Exhale, downward-facing dog. Inhale, pull forward, push-up position. Exhale, lower down. Put yourself up on your elbows. Now listen, I gotta be honest with you. If you're somebody whose genitalia is outy, you need to tuck that down. Otherwise, this next exercise, it's not gonna be so pretty, right? You can either tuck it with your hand or you can just drag your body forward so that you're sure your pubic bone isn't pressing into that. And that is gonna be a big relief. Go ahead and take your left elbow and plant it on the floor. Bring your right arm all the way back around behind you and see if you can hold on to your right foot. Here's the deal. If you look at my thumb, it's face up to the ceiling. My shoulder is externally rotated. You're going to keep your hand this way as you grab your foot. Now, shift forward. See if you can reach back with the left hand and also hold the same way onto the left ankle. Walk your hands down a little bit. Walk them down to your shin bone if possible. And very carefully push both shins back into your hands. And lift your chest up. Alternately, you could lift your thigh bones off the floor. So it could be both the chest and the thigh bones, or it could be one or the other. When you release this, I want to do a little stretch for your triceps. So take your arms forward, push back onto your hands and knees, walk your knees underneath you so you're in child's pose sort of, and then put your elbows close together, as close as you can get them. When your elbows are together, can you separate your hands? Right? So if you turn your palms to face your head, can you separate your hands? Put your head in between your arms so they can't close again. Hold it here for 5, 4, drawing your hips backwards. 3, 2, and 1. On 1, interlace your hands together. Walk your elbows to touch each other once again, just to make sure. And then walk your knees back a little bit, and now pull your hips back. So you're going to get a bigger stretch. I want you to lean into your right shoulder more and shift your ribs to the right. Also pull your right hip backwards. Tricep exercise. Take it back to the center. Shift your ribs to the left a little bit. Pull your left hip backwards. I know, but wait, there's more. Come back to center. Release your left hand down and take your right thumb to the upper trapezius and hook it. And I just want you to push your upper trapezius down your back. Just a little bit. While you're doing that, turn your head and look to the left. Come back to center. Switch elbows. Left elbow comes to the middle of the mat. Left thumb comes to the upper trapezius at the base of the neck. And then you're going to drop your chin into your chest and turn your head to the right as you pull backwards through that left hip. You can lean your rib cage a little bit to the left. Amazing. When you release to center, put both hands on the floor. Inhale up onto your hands and knees. Push back down or facing dog. From down dog, inhale your right leg back into space. Exhale, step it forward for pigeon. So you turn your right knee to the right. You slide your left knee back a little bit. Come down onto your elbows, and let's have a conversation about what is yet to come. So for the next 3 poses, there's a hand variation, and there is a strap variation, right? So you can always just go with the hand variation, for sure, or you can also incorporate strappage. Let's walk our hands backwards and put the right hand in the center of the mat. With your right hand stable, take your left hand back and see if you can hold on to your foot. I know. Notice if your right hip bone is on the floor, and instead pick up your right hip and turn your left hip bone down, so your left thigh is pushing towards the ground. 2 things. Thing number 1, push your foot away from you to open up your chest.
I think I'm going to cut my hair today.
Amazing. Thing number 2, pull your heel in so that it comes close to your butt cheek. If you look backwards and your knee is turned out to the side, just for a second, move your knee in line with your hip and then rebend so that you're accessing the muscles you want to release the most. Chest rolls open, heart rolls open. Okay, now release that and come down for a second. This is where you have the potential to use the strap. And if you're using a strap, but you're slightly off balance, I would tuck something under your hip, like a pillow or a blanket or a wedge or a block or a water bottle. But grab your strap, if you got one, otherwise repeat. Put your right hand firmly on the floor, and you're just going to make a little loop with that strap. It doesn't matter how you've made it, right? It's going to get under your other hip, underneath here. Yeah, right hip. So I've got a loop here, and I'm going to swing the loop around my foot and hold the strap in my hand. For the gentlest version, you could just rest on your elbows, right? If you're doing a deeper variation, you want to reach back, walk your hands down the strap a little bit, and hold there. Or, to make it simpler, once you put the strap on, if you walk your hand as close to your foot as you possibly can, and then try to swipe your elbow up to the ceiling, that's going to be the full expression right, of the pose. So breathe. Breathe. And just a little bit, I want you to think of that left elbow is going to the ceiling and the left rib cage is going to the left. Carefully release what you have, take the strap away, and trade legs. Oh, good. Whoop. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, slide it forward into pigeon. And then come on down onto your elbows just for a second. That's going to give you a deeper hip opening on the front leg, as opposed to the second thing we do, which gives you a deeper quad opening on the back leg. I know. Walk your hands back a little bit. And put your left hand in the center of the mat. And just reach your right hand back behind you. Notice when you look back, if your right knee is off to the side, and you could need to slide it in line with your right hip. And then instead of pulling your foot in, I want you to push your foot away from you so that it opens up the front of the right chest. Second variation, see if that foot will slide in towards your right hip. Make sure your left butt cheek is up off the floor and that your right hip and your right thigh and your rib cage are facing forward and down. Hold it steady. Okay, then release that back leg and find your strap. And either if there's a loop in it already, you can use that, or if you want to create a loop, make a loop. And lasso that pony. For the easiest variation with the strap, you would just stay down on your elbows and relax here. And by easy, I mean you're still feeling a ton. For the deeper variation, you prop yourself up on that left hand, and you take your elbow towards the ceiling. To really make it a tight pose, walk your hand back on the strap until it's almost at your foot. Then try flipping your elbow to the ceiling. And if you push your foot backwards a little bit, some of you will be able to take both hands to the strap. When you come out, make sure you come out just as thoughtfully as you came in. Take the strap off of your foot and step back to downward facing dog. Second position. Inhale, right leg goes up to the sky. Exhale, exhale, step forward and place your back knee on the ground. So for this one, we're going to do a side bend first, and then we'll come into a twisting quad stretch. To make the side bend super accessible, you can either use a block under your right hand, or you can really walk your 2 feet away from each other. So the right foot would go forward and the left foot would go backwards. And then go ahead and put your right hand on the ground. Walk your right hand off to the right and see if you can lift your back knee and turn your back heel to the floor. We're going to arc our left arm up and over. Just like that. Now, you could have your hand reaching forward, but if possible, I want you to reach your hand to the sidewall. Then bend your back knee down close to the floor and reach up and over to the side. Oh. Good. Bend your back knee close to the floor and then reach up and over to the side. If you can flex your front foot and lift your toes up, go ahead and lift your toes up. Bend it down, place your back knee on the floor, and turn your right toes to the right, and turn your right knee to the right, and turn your chest to the right. But your left leg will go back a little bit. Great. For twisting quad stretch, reach your right hand back behind you, grab the foot, and hold. Now, this one doesn't have a strap variation. This one has a deeper variation with your arm. So if you're good like this, stay. If you'd like, you can actually bring the foot to the bend of your elbow. All right, I'm going to turn sideways so y'all can see it. But instead of holding with your foot, you would take the foot to the wrist, or you take it to the bend of your elbow, and then hold the pose.
What if I can't do that?
No, you just do it. You do you, and that's the perfect place to be because it is where you are. Gently release and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, take your left leg back. And then exhale, step forward, place the back knee down on the ground. Remember, the secret to your success is to move your 2 feet further apart. So it's almost like a split lunge, a splunge. Take your left hand down to the floor, walk it off to the left, and then lift your back knee up and turn your back heel down onto the ground. Sweep that right arm up and over. And you could be reaching forward, but if you can reach sideways, go ahead and reach sideways. And then bend the back knee so it comes down close to the floor. And then sweep back up and over. And then bend the back knee close to the floor. And sweep up and over. Now let's do this one more time. So you bend, and then when you reach up, can you flex your front foot so that your toes lift up off the ground? So maybe straighten both legs. And put your back knee down. The left toes turn to the left. The left knee turns to the left. And your right knee moves back just a little bit to help you out. Reach your left hand back behind you, twisting quad stretch. Maybe your foot will come in just a little bit closer to your hip. Or if this was the one where you had the variation, where you could hook the foot into the crook of your arm and reach your fingers forward. I'll come sideways again so you can see it.
By hook or by crook?
By hook or by crook, or hook in the crook. Hook in the crook.
Oh, don't get your crook in the hook.
Oh God. So you breathe it out, you feel it, and then let it go and step back to downward facing dog. Vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. From down dog, bend your knees and walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, long, flat back. Exhale, fold down. We're going to do a little change up from here. So at the front of the mat, inhale to lengthen out. And then I want you to step your right leg back and put your right knee down. And then rest both hands on your front thigh. Maybe you remember this one from earlier. When we reached backwards, take your right hand onto your right butt cheek and push it down. Then reach your hand back to your hamstring. You're going to use your left hand firmly on your left knee. And for some of you, make sure you tuck your back toes under so your ankle is lifted. Some of you can grab onto the ankle of your right foot. If it hurts your knee, no. Or fold your mat or put a towel under it. Take your left hand to the right side of your rib cage and help to lift your rib cage out of your waist so that you can elevate your gaze to the sky. Oh, elevate the gaze, elevate the gaze. Okay? Now, carefully bend into that front leg, and we're going to take a straight forward quad stretch. Usually I need a little bit of padding for this. So you can double fold the mat. Brandon's got a nice blanket. Put your left elbow on your knee, and then reach your right hand back and see if you can grab your right foot and pull it in towards your hip.
Did you hear that?
Yeah?
That's my knee cracking.
If you have your foot in and you also have the balance, you can take the left arm and reach it up to the sky. I'm going to call this baby dancer pose. So super bend your front knee so your weight is on that front leg. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Ta-da! Carefully release it. Remember, we came from the front of the mat, so I'm going to have you step back to the front of the mat. And then take your left leg and step it back into space and put your knee down.
Oh.
If you folded your mat, go ahead and fold it over. Prop your hands up on your front thigh. Take your left hand and put it on your butt cheek. And you want to take your glute and relocate it back down into your pants. Sometimes the glute climbs up into your low back and you just want to put it back where it belongs. Take it to your hamstring. Use your right hand firmly to push on your right knee. And then your back toes are definitely tucked under so that your ankle might be accessible. If you can grab the ankle, grab it, and take your right hand to your left left rib cage so that you're rotating your chest to the sky. You're non-compressive in your low back because you're elevating the chest up out of the low back. And then when you come forward, do so very carefully and rest your elbow on your front knee. Can we bend the back knee? Bend it. Grab it with your left hand and pull your heel and your hip close together. The more you bend your front knee, the more you'll feel your back quad. I know it sounds kind of funny, but it's true. The more you bend that front knee, the more you're going to feel your back quad. Also turn your hips to face forward. Take your right hand and maybe elevate your mind, free your soul. Come on, come on. Then release it back down. Where did we start? Front of the mat. Unfold, step forward, inhale, long flat back. Exhale, fold down. Make a mental note of where your possible strap, if you have one, is, and then physically get it. Roll your body up to standing. And we're ready for the next thing. So take your strap, and you're going to make a loop for your right foot with it. And put it right there. Ooh, do you want to switch straps for this?
Sure.
Great. This will be very hard for me. And you're going to make a loop for your right foot and pop it in there. That'll work. And take your right leg into dancer's pose. Now, if you're strapless, it's a good look for Easter Sunday. You can push your foot and your hand against each other and just work into your regular dancer's pose. But if you have the strap, hold it in your right hand and put it over your shoulder.
Over the shoulder, ankle holder.
Fashion, people. And then walk your hands back onto the strap. And for any reason, if you lose your balance, just cautiously come out of it. But if you can, I want you to push your foot up towards the ceiling. And then when you relax it,
Turn sideways.
try to walk your hands down strap just a little bit. Then you'll repeat, lean forward, bend your standing leg, and try to push your foot up to the ceiling. Now Brandon's hopping, so I'm going to show you what you can do if you're a hopper. If you're a hopper, you put your elbows on the wall, and you take your dancer's pose here, and then you can walk your hands down the strap as much as you want.
All right, that's much better.
Right, it's super fun. Wherever you are, we're going to release the right leg and pull the right knee into the chest. Should you still have your strap, you can use it, grab it with your left hand, and then push your right foot forward into space. So it can be with the strap. If you're a little bit looser today, you don't need the strap, you can hold on to the outside of your right foot with your left hand, and then cautiously extend. This is the opposition stretch that brings your back bends into balance. Possible, right hand reaches behind you. Awesome. When you release, bring it in. Strap on, strap off. When the strap comes off, you're going to put it onto your other foot. Swing your left arm over your left shoulder. And just start with a tiny dancer.
Tony Danza.
Dancer. Push your foot back into space. If you'd like to hold on with both hands, you can hold on with both hands. Now, if you remember what we did in pigeon, those of you with the strap, you can slide your hand down the strap close to your foot. This will give you a tighter pose, and then you flip your elbow up towards the ceiling. Carefully. Right. You take your hands back to the strap, push your foot up towards the ceiling, and bend your right knee a little bit so it's easier to find your balance. Then, relax the leg slightly, and if possible, you go down further on the strap. Reach your foot up to the ceiling, lean forward, and then carefully bring that left knee back into the chest. Strap if you want. The strap will go into your right hand, and then you'll stretch your foot forward into space. Otherwise, if you don't need the strap, you can hold on to the edge of the left foot with your right hand. Feel free to keep the knees bent, or go into this gorgeous full body extension. Bend the knee, strap over. You can take that away, and bring both legs down. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale, both arms reach up to the sky. Your body should be incredibly long at this point. Exhale, fold your body all the way down. Inhale, lengthen out. Listen, just come down to a low squatting position and then sit on the floor. And when you sit on the floor, it's ab time. Turn sideways. We're going to do very, very simple, straightforward abs. Come onto your back. And then bend your knees and lift your feet up to the ceiling. And remember, anytime you're doing any exercise, no matter whose class it is, you have the right to choose how much or how little you do each time so that you can continue to do good work, right? So maybe you do half of the abs, or you do small abs, or maybe you do twice as many abs because that's where you're at. It's all good. Put your hands behind your head. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders up, and start with upper body pulsing. So your upper body lifts up for 10, 9, belly button hollow, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now hold on 1, steady, hollow the belly, and try to lift your hips up. 10. I imagine 9 that I have paint on my feet, on the soles of my feet, and I'm trying to touch the ceiling and leave a footprint up there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. On 1, it repeats. Upper body lifts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, look at your legs, straighten them out a little bit, and now try to lift them up. If this is easy for you, you can take the legs forward slightly, and then in and up. Forward slightly, in and up. Forward, in and up. Forward, in and up. Forward, in and up. Come on. In and up. Do 4 more. Lift. 3 more. Lift. 2. Lift. It's not done. 1. On 1, take your right elbow towards your left knee, and we're just going to pulse that shoulder blade up off the floor. 10. It doesn't have to be 9, a heavy twist. 8. 7. I just want you to feel 6, that your shoulder blade. 5. Doesn't have to. 4. Be on the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Come to center. Change. Lift the left shoulder blade up and go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to center. Here's where it gets tricky. I want you to twist your right elbow to your left knee. But we're not going to move the upper body. We're going to move the lower body. Bend your knees, turn them to the right, and now pick your hips up and try to touch your outer right elbow. Low body lifts. 10, 9. It's a little slower. 8 when you're lifting the lower body. 7, 6. But you feel what I'm talking about, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch to the other side. Remember, it's low body lifting. Knees to the outside of the left elbow. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Just to bring it home, on 1, you're going to bring your knees to center, cross your right elbow to your left knee, and then switch. And then switch. And then switch. And then switch. and then switch, and then switch, and then switch, and switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Now it happens with your knees. So you keep your elbows stationary. Come on, ready? Both knees go to the left and in. Both knees go to the right and in. Both knees go to the left and in. Both knees go to the right and in. But your arms are stationary. Left, woo!
This is stupid.
Right! Right. Left. Go. Just do 4 more. 4. Yeah. 3. 2. 1. Go to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock on your back. If you're comfortable rocking on your spine, you can rock up to seated and over to your belly. If you're not comfortable, you can roll over onto one side. Press your hands into the floor and come on up. Lay on your belly. Prop yourself up on your elbows and stretch your abdomen open. Perfect. Once your abdomen's opened up a little bit, you're going to come into a pose called puppy dog pose or anahatasana. For anahatasana, find tabletop. Brandon's going to do it straight forward, but I'm going to turn sideways so you can see the position of my hips over my knees. So what you want is your hips to stay directly over your knees, and then walk your hands forward and bring your forehead down to the ground. It's not a child's pose, right? Your hips are going to be over your knees a little bit, and then you walk your hands further forward. Yep. That way it gives you a huge stretch underneath your arms. Anahatasana. If your spine is feeling pretty open, you can look forward at your thumbs, and then come back up onto your hands and knees, and separate your knees out to the side for Mandukasana, for frog pose. If you have a towel or a blanket and you want that for padding, you can put that padding under your knees, or you can just take your knees as wide as your yoga mat, or even turn sideways on your yoga mat so that you can do a wider legged pose. So I'm just going to put it out here like this, and then you slide your knees out to the side. Your hips are close to your heels, your toes are touching for this one, and then come forward onto your elbows. So whenever I'm doing a heart opening class, I always make sure that I open up the inner groin, because if your groin is tight, you can't lift your hips up. You can't arc your body into that beautiful back bend curve that we're looking for. So we do a little bit of groin opening first. Here's the variation. Since this is the simpler, more stable of the two poses, we can do a more complicated variation. Take your right arm and thread the needle. Do it very slowly, because as your right shoulder reaches the floor, your right inner groin will tell you what's happening. If your shoulder and your head make it to the floor, great. You can pick up your shoulder and move it more to the left side of the mat, and then bring your left arm around behind you and either tuck it into your pants and hold there for stability, or you can curve them all the way around your right hip until your hand comes onto your inner right groin. When you unravel that arm, put your left hand firmly on the floor. Draw your body to center. You did it. And then take your left arm underneath and rest it down. Pick up your shoulder and move it more to the right side of the mat. Be very careful about what your inner left groin is feeling. Groins have feelings too.
Oh yeah, they do.
And then take your right hand around behind your back and either tuck it into your pants, at the waistband of the pants. You can take it to the side, or you can bring it to your inner left thigh.
And rub your groin more.
Hashtag groin rub.
I'm rubbing my groin.
Oh.
It feels good.
Okay, we're going to put the right hand on the floor, come back up in center. we'll give your hips a little break by coming into camel one. For camel one, your knees come together. Just a little bit too thick, there you go. And then put one hand on your belly, hold it in, put the other hand on your low back. And the belly hand is going to move in, and the low back hand is going to push back. Put both of your hands on your glutes, and push your glutes down. Squeeze your elbows together, and rocket ship lift your chest up to the sky. So it isn't a back bend yet, it's just an elevation of your rib cage. Second position. I'll turn sideways so you can see it. For second position, you sink back onto your heels. And those of you that are newer to camel pose, you can just take your hands back here so that your back doesn't feel massive compression. You just do this, and then you would lift your hips up. Or you can tuck your toes under, sit on your heels, put your hands on your heels, roll your shoulders back and down. You'll notice I haven't really lifted my hips yet because that's not my purpose. My purpose is to open the heart, to open the chest. So I open it, then I lean back so I can use my arms in the same way a pole vaulter would push the pole down into the earth to launch themselves up into the air. And then you're going to look not behind you, but up. Right? Not behind you, but never look back. Forward. And then shift your hips back a little bit. Keep the weight in your hands. Shift your hips back and come all the way down and lower. Mandukasana number 2. Frog pose number 2. Separate your knees out to the side. And for this one, you also want to separate your feet out to the side. And your ankles will be in line with your knee. Once this happens, it's also important that your hips are no longer backwards. Your hips are in line with this knee as well, or a tiny bit in front. Then you can come onto your elbows. I always think this would be a perfect place to like shake it, but I can't shake it, I've tried.
There's nothing to shake.
No, it's so sad. It's like 2 toothpicks that disappear into the infinity of my t-shirt. Now, walk your hands very gently to the right side of your mat. When you come to the right, pull a little bit with your arms so that your hips start to slide forward. And there's no reason why you can't come so far forward that your left foot lifts up and your belly comes down to the ground. It's not as hard as you think. Yep, just like that. And if your foot lifted up towards the sky, you can plant your right hand on the floor, reach your left hand back behind you and see if you can find the foot. Oh. Now let that foot go. Bring it down to the ground. Move your body to center and back up your hips so they're in line with your knees. And then let's walk over to the left side. Give a little bit of a pull with your arms. And it's okay to pull so far that your right foot lifts up off the floor and you lay on your belly. Remember, it's easier than you think. Sorry. And then reach back with your right hand, see if you can hold a foot, and you're gonna gently.
It's a good thing I love you.
Okay, release that foot, come back to center. Touch your toes together. And then back up your hips. And bring your knees together. Okay. We're going to try camel pose one more time. So this time for camel, you can either repeat what you did at first, which was this, or you can repeat what you did second, which was this, or you can try the third variation where you point your toes and then you take your hands to your heels. And this would be the deepest variation. Lean back so that you can have firm weight in your hands and use your arms to bolster your body. Once you reach the top and you feel the weight coming off your fingers, shift your hips back again. Shift your chest back again so you have the weight into your hands. That's perfect. Don't let your head go. Okay, good. And then back up your hips, back up your hips, back up your hips. Keep your hands on your heels. Lower all the way down and rest. There is this tremendous backbend that you can do in this position, which I'll just show you because I know that some of you have done this sequence before. So if you're coming from camel towards wheel, you have to tuck your toes under, and then you're going to bring your fingertips down to the floor. So you inhale here, you let your head drop back, you bend your knees, hands come to the floor, and then lift up and find your wheel. In wheel, you have to walk your hands forward a little bit so that you're in a safer position, and then you would come all the way down. If you've never tried it before, today at home is not the place to try it, but if you've done it before and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, feel free. Come to your hands and knees. When you come to your hands and knees, put your forearms on the floor. Reach your thumbs to the armpit area, and then interlace your hands on the ground. When you interlace the hands on the ground, you're ready to push back and find dolphin pose. Use your fists and use your elbows firmly on the floor. Super press into the ground. And this is a great place to hold. Then, maybe you lift one leg up in the air just for kicks. And then you take that leg down, you lift the other leg up. And you bring it down. Take both knees down to the ground. Rest your forehead on the floor. Take your hands to the back of your neck and squeeze the muscle tissue there. And then you'll release it. And then just squeeze it and release it. Second variation. Put your elbows on the floor. Bring your thumbs into the armpit. Interlace your hands on the floor. If you know how to balance on your forearms, you can either keep your hands interlaced or you can place your palms flat. Palms flat is for beginners and intermediates in forearm stand because you can really use your fingertips to keep your balance. However, it does turn your shoulder in a less advantageous direction. If you were to take your hands and interlace them, it's harder to balance, but it allows your shoulder to really come into that external rotation. So it's up to you, here or here. Proceed with caution. So palms flat, elbows press, knees lift. Walk your feet in nice and close to your elbows, and then lift one leg up in the air and do not jump. Shift your body weight forward. And sometimes when you shift, there's lift. And if you've lifted, bring your head forward a little bit so you're looking at your thumbs, and there's a potential to bend your knees and take them down, take the feet towards your head. When you release out of that pose, come into child's pose, grab the tissue at the back of your neck, and I want you to squeeze it. And then release it and squeeze it. And release it and give it a nice squeeze. And then let it go. Walk your hands backwards. So forearm stand and handstand are actually close cousins. Forearm stand is harder because you have to be open in your tricep, which is why we stretched our triceps at the beginning of class today. Handstand, you don't need that much openness in the tricep because it's easier to free up your arm if the elbow isn't bent, right? Elbow bent, it takes up all the slack of the muscle tissue and it makes things more challenging. So watch me first and then we can try it together. So the first pose would be downward dog, just like this. The second position would be to lift one leg up and put it down. And lift one leg up and put it down. And then the third position that you would come into is you have to stack your body. So I'm going to shift my shoulders forward over my wrists. Then I'm going to lift one leg up in the air, and I'm trying not to jump as much as I can. So I just give it a little pop, whoop, and then down. And so maybe that's all you do today, is you give it a little whoop. And then if the legs come up and you find your balance, there's a scorpion here on your hands. There's a scorpion on my hands. You bring the feet down, and you would always rub out the muscles that you just used on the back of your neck. Just try down dog. Coming into your downward dog position. From downward dog, maybe you lift one leg up, and then you put it down. And then you lift your other leg up, and then you put it down. However, if you're thinking of coming to a little bit of an arm balance, make your shoulders come forward over your wrists, then lift one leg up in the air. Bend the standing leg, and give yourself a little kick of the top leg into the air. Yeah, just like a good one like that. Just a mini kick. Right. And you could try it on both sides. And then come down and rest in child's pose and rub out the back of your neck. I want you to congratulate yourself on trying just a mini hop because that counts as a handstand. It's just a very short handstand, right? It only lasted for half a second. So you are on your way. I can't give you all massages at home, but just imagine that you're getting a massage. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and come up onto your hands and knees. Cross at the ankles, sit down, scoot forward, and lay down on your back. Oh, yeah. When you lay down, we're going to come into a brief bridge pose, a brief wheel, and then we're going to restore it out. I think I have just enough time to make it happen. So turn sideways. Walk your heels in close enough so that they can almost touch your hips, but you can definitely touch your heels with your hands. And then lift your hips up into the air and walk your hands underneath your body. Also walk your elbows underneath your body. Press the palms of your hands together. And then get your elbows as straight as you can and try to sit on your wrists. If you sit on your thumbs, that's uncomfortable or exciting depending on who you are. But don't sit on your fingers. Sit on your wrists and then lengthen your low back by pulling your knees and tail forward, and then open your chest by squeezing your shoulder blades together. And this is where you want to rest. It's good to do if you can't stop touching your phone. Just do this pose instead and be like, no, I will not. It will open your chest, it will open the bend of your elbows, and then you breathe right up into your heart. All right, let's undo the hands. If you're coming into wheel today, you're welcome to try your regular Urdhva Dhanurasana, your regular back bend, by placing the hands up by your shoulders, squeezing the elbows together. The secret for me is that you have to pull your knees forward and you have to pull your elbows backwards. And those two things allow the piece in the middle to rise up. So you place your hands on the floor, take a deep breath in, move your knees forward, move your elbows backwards, and see if you can get a little bit of a lift today. If you're lifting all the way up into wheel, fantastic. If you're just lifting back up into bridge and you're interlacing your hands, amazing. And then you come all the way down, rest your body on the ground, and hug one knee and then the other into the chest. We're going to work it out. Let's put the right foot down on the floor. Should we put the right foot down or should we put the left?
All right.
Okay. And then take your left leg up towards the ceiling. Grab onto the back of your left leg. And don't force anything. This is just your restoration. I want the right leg bent and the foot on the ground so that you can push on it. So super bend it. Yep, because then you can push on your right foot and your left leg will come closer to your face. Once you have that, you're going to feel this extraordinary length into the glute and to the low back, which is what we're hoping for now. Can you bring your left thumb to the crease of your hip and push your hip down?
Down.
Then take your left leg out to the side, put your left elbow on the floor and catch the outside of your calf in your hand.
Catch me outside.
Calf me outside. If you can, pull the leg a little bit higher towards your ear or temple. And then what I like about this is if the right hand will reach across, you can hold the pinky toe side of the foot. And then the right leg would straighten out all the way on the floor.
Isn't that something?
It's something. Woo. Take this leg back up to the ceiling. And let's cross it diagonally to the other side. The secret is to turn your left knee to the left, turn your left toes to the left, turn your left hip to the left, and push your left hand against your hip so you feel I T-band love. Then bend both knees, come to figure 4. Left ankle crossing the right knee. Grab underneath your right thigh and very lightly pull that right knee in. Be careful of your left knee. We never want to push the left knee away. In fact, it would be better just to hug it with the left arm and keep the outside of the knee protected from overstretch. Then we're ready to switch. So if you uncross your left foot, you can put it on the floor, grab onto your right leg, and slide it in. Now super press into that left leg so that your right leg can come closer to your face. Hold it with your left hand and put your right thumb in the crease of your right hip and push your right hip away from you. So your hip is going away, but your foot is coming towards. Second position, take your right arm out to the side, put your right elbow on the floor, and catch your calf on the outside. Good. If you have a wall there, you can put your foot on the wall. That's cool. And then draw your leg up closer to your head and your temple. And maybe you can hold on with the left arm to the foot. And your left leg would straighten all the way out on the ground for this one. Bring your right leg back up to the ceiling. Look at it and turn your right hip to the right. And your right knee to the right and your right foot to the right. And it goes diagonally across your body. Your right thumb is pushing your right hip down. Your left hand is pulling the leg in towards you. And then cross it into a figure 4. Hold underneath your left leg. And if you want to protect the outside of your right knee, you could wrap your right elbow around it. And then release what you have with both legs. Hug your knees into your chest and decide how you want to close your class. So you might close it with Shavasana, you might close it in a seated meditation, and if you need like socks or a long sleeve shirt, feel free to get them. Brandon's going to settle in. And I am going to set up.
I have socks. Can you have
Socks. So just lay your body all the way down on the floor. Lengthen out your low back. Lengthen out the back of your neck. Ooh. I want to read to you something that one of my good friends gave to me, and it's this amazing quote by Bianca Sparacino, and my friend Tasha gave it to me. I hope you find love. I hope you find love. And I don't just mean in regards to someone you wrap your tired bones around at night. I mean that I hope you find love in every aspect of your life. I hope you find it tucked into early morning sunrises and the smell of your favorite places. I hope you find it strung between the laughter you share with your friends. I hope it bounces off of you when you hug the people you care for. I hope it swells within your ribcage whenever you hear your favorite song or discover something that moves you. I hope you fall in love with growth and change and the messiness and the beauty of fucking up and making mistakes and becoming exactly who you want to be. I hope you find love in the places that were once void of it, in places within yourself that you could have been softer to, kinder to in the past. Because if there's something I've learned, it is that love is so much more than a boy or a girl who holds your heart. Love is everything. around you. It is everything. There are some things I may not know, and there are some places, dear Lord, I may not go. But there's one thing of which I'm sure, my God is real, for I can feel love in my soul. Yes, God is real, for He has washed and made me whole. This love for me shines like pure gold. Yes, God is real, for I can feel love in my soul. Hare Ram, 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 Sita Ram, 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 Hare Ram, Ram, Sita Ram, Ram, Ram. I have found a way to live in the presence of the Lord. I have found a way to live in the presence of the Lord. And so it's in the name of Take a full deep breath in and exhale it all the way out. And when you feel ready, go ahead and roll over onto one side and curl up. Press your hands into the floor to come to easy seated. And place your palms flat over the center of your chest. We'll chant Om 3 times to close class this morning. Take a deep breath in. Love is everything around you. It is everything. I hope you find love. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you everybody so much. From our hearts to yours, to your families, to your friends, I hope you have an incredible Sunday. Get out there, enjoy this beautiful day, and we'll see you next time. I'll be on Facebook for just 5-10 minutes to say hello, Facebook Live, and so we'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye, happy Easter.